Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So now let me discuss the course content first. Then, if you have any doubts, you can ask me regarding in the test and quizzes. And so we'll discuss about structures. So structure is a user-defined data types. Earlier, I told the data types can be predefined, means defined in the language itself already. There could be some data types which are basically derived. Derived and inbuilts are more or less same types. It's not very large difference between this. And then there are some data types which has not been defined in the language. There are data types which are not being defined. But we want to do operation on those data types. We want to do operation on those data types which has not been defined in the language. Int, float, char, they have already been defined. We have some other data types which are not defined. Then how can I do operation on those data types? Now I will declare, or I'll rather define our own data type in the programming language. So the scope has been given to the user to define their own data types. And when you define your own data type, it can either be a structure, or could be a union, or could be enumerated data types. In three ways we can define, either by using a structure, or by using a union, or by using an enum. So we will define our own data types. So when we define own data types, let's say structure, let me compare it with an array so that you can have a better understanding. Let me compare it with an array for a better understanding. Understanding will be more clear if I discuss this with respect to an array. Think of an array. In case of an array, we can declare arrays of integer, like let's say int a of 20. It means we have arrays of integers. We can initialize values to this. In these arrays of integer, I can say we have a single variable name. We have a single variable name, but in reality, we declare 20 number of variables with the same name. 20 number of variables with the same name, and the variables are distinguished by putting an index along with the name of the variables. The index could be a bracket 0, a bracket 1, up to a bracket 19. Let me define a little bit different way to this. I'll say we declare basically when we have group of elements which are of same type, we normally declare an array. The group can be, let's say, integer. The group can be floating point groups. The group can be a character groups. So I can declare basically an array for this. Let me say we have an array and which has number of data members. Let me tell it like this. I'll tell number of data members. I use a new terms over here of number of data members. The number of data members of the array here is 20. The number of data members are 20. So this array has 20 number of data members where all data members are of integer type. Is it understood? Which I didn't tell like this when I was defining an array. So this array has how many data members?
20.
20 number of data members, and each data member is an integer types. So every data member of an array must be of same types. That's the property of an array basically. Now let me go for a structures. In case of a structure, same way, I can define a structure which has number of data members. But do remember, the data member of the structures may not be of same type. The data members of the structure definition, or you can say structure variable, may not be of same types. Here, all data members are of integer type. And how do I access the data member? Accessing the data member, we use basically a bracket or star operators. Let me tell you the bracket. I write down the name of the variable. Bracket 0 is one data member. A of 1 is the next data member. Like this, every data members can be accessed by using a bracket operator along with its index. We put an index over here. If I compare the same way to a structure, we'll have a structure definition. And the definition is basically data type definitions, not a variable definitions, a variable declarations. It's basically data type. I remember one thing before I also tell you structures. Int is a data type. The data type has no existence in the programs unless and until I declare variable of these data types. When I declare int, let's say b, c, x, then it has an existence. The variable b and c and x has existence. Only float has no existence. It's a data type. It's defined how many bytes it takes in the memory and what is the order set, what is the range of the numbers. All these things are being defined in the language. The number of bytes, how to represent it, and what is the range of the number, everything has been defined. But it has no existence unless and until we declare variable of these data types. I can declare, let me say F1, F2, F3 like this. If I declare variable, then its existence will come and I can do operation with the data type or with the variables. We do operation with the data type or variables.
Variables.
Very good, Abbas. Very good, Abbas. We do operation with the variable, not with the data types. Remember this. So with these few ideas, let me tell, we will now define our data types. And when I define my data types, it has no existence unless and until we declare variable of those data types. Unless and until we declare variable of those data types, it has no use at all. It has no existence at all. And we do operation with only the variables, not with the data types. And as I told, in array, the data members or the elements are of same. In case of a structure, we'll see the exact declarations. The data members may be of dissimilar types. One data member in a structure can be integer, another can be a pointer, third one can be a floating point, fourth one can be an array of integer like this. So the whole definition will say how many bytes will be allocated and which data member will take how many bytes. So with this, so if we see the structure definition means it's basically data type definition, right on your copy. Structure definition means it's data type definition, not variable definition or declarations. Data type. I can declare a new data type. Always started with a reservoir struct. Always started with a reservoir struct. Name of the data types or name of the structures. Struct, the reservoir is fixed. Once struct is written, the system understands the user is going to define a new data types. And the name of the data type will be given over here. The name could be A, B, C, class, students, anything. It's just an identifier. Name of the structure can simply be an identifier. And then we'll declare different data members, unlike array. In case of an array, we write down a bracket at 20. It is understood. It basically defines 20 number of variable itself. We need not to say individual 0, 1, 2, 3, 20 means 0, 1 indexes. But here, all these data members may be of different types and are also defined in the body of the structure definitions. In the body, this is the brackets, basically body. Inside the body of the structure definition, we will define all data members of these structure definitions. I'll give examples. And then the bracket is closed and we follow with a semicolons. Other ways are also there. But the basic structure definition is started with a struct reservoir, name of the structure, followed by inside brackets all data members of these structures, and then bracket closed and followed with a semicolons.
इसका कोई example?
I'm coming. Don't worry. Without example, it will not be understood. Okay, wait for some time. Okay, wait for some time, Rishikesh. Don't worry. I'll go for that.
Yes.
And then after defining my structure, when I define my structure, it is a variable declaration or data type definition.
Data type definition.
Data type definition. In case of int char, we do not do this. Do I define a int data type?
No,
It
sir.
has been already defined the language. Do I define what is a float data type? No. I define what is a struct data types. I define it. So this is an additional thing for a structure variable. So now after defining only, I can declare my structure variables. And those structure variables will be of these data types. And structure variables are declared by writing struct and the same name of the structure and followed by variable names. If one variable, fine, write down the name of the variable ended with semicolon. If you have multiple variables of same type, I'll declare the variables separated by comma ended with a semicolons. For example, look at this. First example. I want to do operation on a data type which will have a name of 20 character, which will have a price, a floating point values, and which will have number of pages. I want to have a data type like this. The data type consists of how many data members? Three, which will have, unlike array. Array has all data members of same types. Zero index starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, and the data members are, let's say, index 0, data member is index 1, like this. I want to have a new data types, which will hold name of the book, price of the book, and the number of pages of the book. It's a new data types. If I declare a variable of this data type, my variable can be holding a name, price, and pages. Understood it or not?
Yes, sir.
My data type is holding 3 data members. Now, every variable of this data type will be holding a name, can be of 20 characters, price ought to be a floating point value, and pages must be written in integers. And this data type, I define it here, structure definitions. Started with the reservoir struct. I gave the name of the data type as, what is the name?
Book.
Book is a variable or name of the data types?
Name of the data type.
Name of the data type.
Very good. Anam Deg. Very good. It's a name of the data type, like int, like float, same as book. Int, float, char, same as book. It's not book is a variable. Book is basically here name of the data type. And this data type holds a name of 20 characters, also holds price, which is a floating point, also holds pages, which is an integers. It has 3 data members. Now this red color definition, does it have any existence if I do not declare variable of this type to my program?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Has no existence, has no existence. It will have an existence provided I declare variable of these types. I declare here variables. How many variables did I declare here? 1 or 2 or 6?
2.
No,
6.
I declare here is 6. 5 variables have been combined together. Single name. But if you look at this, I have a variable B. The variable B is an integer type, float type, or book type.
Book type.
Book type. And then book is a structure type. So it's a book type. If variable B is a book type, the variable B can hold what type of values?
Any types of values.
It was a name of 20 characters.
Yes, sir.
And will also store a price.
Store a price
and will also hold page which is
Yes.
understood it, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Then I declare K of 5. So K of 5 means if I look at this K of 5, let me say I declare K of 5. What is K of 5? Forget about the data type. Forget about this. If I write down a declaration statement, let's say int K of 5. Then we have 5 data members. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If I write int, each is a integers. If I write int, each is a integers. If I write float, each is a float. But when I say it's a struct of book, if I say it's a struct of book, it means each K of 0 has 3 data member. One data member is name of how many characters,
20.
20.
and
20.
another is holding the price, and
Price.
third one is holding the pages.
Yes.
But it is K of 5. Understood or not? The first one is my K of 0. Second one is K of,
1.
1.
and like this, K of 2, K of 3, K of 4, K of 5, like this. I have arrays of structure. Arrays of structure where each structure book is holding 3 data members. If you have understood up to this, the definition and declaration of the variable, let me go to how do I access the data elements. In case of an array, if you remember, array of 10 integers, name of the array is A. How do I access the elements of the array? By writing A of,
A of
0,
0.
or somebody may also write down A plus 1 star.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So how many operators are used in accessing the data member of an array? 1 type or 2 types? नहीं, कितने ऑपरेटर यूज होते हैं? Is it only bracket or bracket and star?
Bracket and star.
So 2 operators can be used, anyone you prefer, to access elements of an array. We normally use this. I fully agree. But can I use star operator also or not?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
2 operators are used. So in case of a structure, now let's discuss to access the data member of each variable, which operator would be used. Do I need to use an operator or not? If I use an operator, how do I use the operator to access the data members? Is the question understood?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, let me see. Operator always doesn't mean that addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Many things. Operator means addition. No, it's not like this. Bracket can be an operator. Star can be an operator also. Look at this. So I have declared this. 2 types of operators are used to access the data member of a structure variable. One is dot operator, very small, and one is arrow operators. Arrow means a minus greater than symbol. Combined, these 2 symbols gives an arrow operators. 2 types of operators are used. So let me discuss first dot operator, then I'll come to the arrow operators. Dot operator is used to access the data member if the variable is a simple variable. If the variable is addressed to a structures, if the variable is a pointer variable, which is addressed to a structure, we use arrow operators. I'll give examples. If the variable is a simple variable, where I discussed K is a simple variable. But if I write down star of K is a structure variable or pointer variable? Star of B.
Sir, pointer.
It's a pointer variable. But this pointer variable is not pointing to an integer. It is pointing to a structure of book type. Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
So what I want to say, if it is a simple variable, the data member can be accessed using which operator, Amarjit?
Dot operator.
Very good. If the variable is an address to a structure, which operator I must use?
Arrow.
Arrow operator.
Because we'll see how we use these 2 operators with examples. Okay. If I'm using name of the structure variable to access the data member, what I do, very simple. Before dot se pehle, before dot, I'll write down name of the structure variable. If you look at this, what is the name of the structure variable here?
B.
B.
So
B.
before dot, I'll write down the name of the structure variable, the way we access it. Had it been a simple variable, had B been a simple variable, had B been a simple variable, int B, float B, how would I have accessed this? By writing only B or not?
B.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Same thing will be written before Rishikesh.
Dot.
Before dot. Yes, good. And after dot, I'll write down the name of the data members. I'll write down the name of the data members. How I would have accessed, Amarjit, answer to this question. How I would have accessed the price had it been only float price? By writing price?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes or no?
Yes,
Yes. How I would have accessed pages had it been only
By writing pages.
Pages.
Only pages. So look at this. So after dot, we'll write down the name of the data members. The name of the data members. The way we access it in a simple case. If I want to access every character of the name, suppose write down here, char name 20, char name 20. If I want to access every character, how would I have been accessed it?
Name of
Name of zero,
Zero.
name of zero, name of one, name of two or not?
Yes, sir.
So every character can be accessed by writing B dot name of,
0.
B
Zero.
dot name of,
Zero, 1, 2,
yes, like this. Every
Yeah.
character can be
Index
accessed.
number.
Index.
Yes. So what I want to say here, so before dot, we'll write down the name of the structure variable. After dot, we'll write down the name of the data members. And if I'm using arrow operator, the right hand side after this, in dot, I'll replace by an arrow. Dot, I'll replace by an arrow. Right part will remain same. But the left part, I cannot write down the name of the structure variable. It should be pointer to a structure variables. It should be a pointer to a structure variable, then arrow, and then data member names. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
I'm giving example. Look at this. Come back to this. Structure definition. So structure definition will be written first, then variable declaration, or first variable declaration, then structure definition.
Definition
Yes.
will be written.
Once we have a data type, then I can declare variable of that data type. So structure definitions are normally defined before main. Okay? Before main.
Yeah.
And variables are declared either outside main or inside main. Look at this. How do I access the data members? I can write down the price of the variable B. The variable B has a price, has a component pages, has a component name. I'll be coming to the name, don't worry. I can write down B dot price 20.50. 50 गलत हुआ क्या? 20.5 लिखने से हो जाता है, गलत लिख दिया. Good. And pages I wrote B dot pages. Is it understood? Tell me yes or no.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
I'm coming to the name. Now here K of 5. K of 5 has how many structure variable? 1 or 5?
5.
Five.
Five.
The structure variable, Amarjit, can you say K of 0, K of 1 up to K of?
4.
And each structure variable data member can be accessed by K of 0 dot pages, K of 0 dot prices like this. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
sir.
Yes, sir. Before this. Now suppose I would like to scan or assign a whole string to this. In case of string variable, do you write ampersand or you write only the first character address to scan the whole string?
Only the first character.
First.
जोर से बोलो.
Only the
Sir,
first
only
character.
first character.
Yes. What is the first character address? You tell me.
Name.
Name.
Very good.
Name.
Awas, name. It is only name.
So we
So now,
yes, sir.
if I want to access store name for the variable K1, I'll write down K1 dot name. Is it understood? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
A particular character can be assigned. A particular character B dot name 5 can be assigned to this capital S.
So,
Yes or no?
so one doubt, sir.
Yes.
So when we are writing k of 0 dot pages is equal to 200,
Yes.
so that means like at the 0th position of the k array, there will be an integer value of 200, sir.
Let me say. I have K of 5 means I have a situation like this. This is my 2, 3, 4. This is my array K. which has 5 number of variables K0, K1. Understood this? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Each K means K of 0, then K of 1. This is my K of 0. This is my K of 1. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Does K of 0 holds only one integer or a structure of book type?
Structure of book type.
And if it is a structure of book type, how many data members it would have?
Acha, 3, sir. Yes, sir.
Understood it? Yes or no?
So got it. Got it.
Got
Got
it.
it.
Got it. When I write on K of 1, so this name will be stored here or in the second position?
Second.
Yes, index 1 position. Shrishika's correct answer. Understood up to this? Tell me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now, suppose I would like to assign, I declare how many variables here?
Sir,
2, B1 and B2. Let's
Two.
assign value to these 2 variables and display the values on the screen so that once I can assign values to data members, then I can do operations. First task is to how to insert value to a variable and how to extract the value from that variable. That is the first task of learning any variables. Enter name, prices, all these things. I wrote B1.name. B1 is the name of the variable. And I would like to give the first character address. First character address is name of 0 or name only?
name.
Very good.
Only
I
name.
wrote B1.name. But in this case, did I write B1.price or ampersand B1.price? Yes. Here the first address is ampersand. Here the address is not ampersand because the address of the first character is name only. So I wrote ampersand B1.price, ampersand B1.pages. And with this, I can give name, price, and pages. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And I want to give it for 2 pages, another scanner to read the second book. Then I can write printf statement to print it. To print, we all know, if I want to print also a string, I must be giving the first character address or not?
Yes.
I wrote B1.name. If I want to print a value, do I need to give an address or the value name will be given?
Value name.
The print karte hain. I have a simple variable A. If I want to print it, I'll write on print percentage DA or not.
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So that's why I wrote B1.price, B1.pages. This program is understood. Tell me yes or no.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So this is the first program you need to do today. Understood? Anant Tripathi? Amarjit?
Yes, sir. Understood.
Yes, sir.
Let me proceed one after another. This structure definition and declaration can be in different ways sometimes. This I discussed just now. I defined my structure, then declare my variables. And this is the right way of defining data types and declaring variables. And in this case, I can also assign values. I can assign values at the time of declaring variables. I declared a struct book B1. I assign first is basic C, Cunning and Ricci, and then the price and number of pages. I can assign value without going for a scanf. This is a static assignment or dynamic assignment?
Dynamic.
No.
Dynamic.
Dynamic is scanf. Dynamic is during
Yes, sir.
execution.
Static
This
is
is assignment
static,
happens
Static.
before execution. अमरजीत, ये जो असाइनमेंट हुआ मैंने प्रोग्राम में लिख दिया है कि प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूशन जब होगा तब देंगे.
लिख दिया सर.
ऋषिकेश, अरे
Yes,
क्या
sir.
समझ में नहीं आ रहा तुम लोग, पता नहीं क्या करते हो. सपोज आई डिक्लेयर a variable int a assigns to 20 and then another case int a, then I write a scanf statement percentage d ampersand a. Which is static, which is dynamic? First one or second one?
The first one is
Or for
static.
static, second one is
Static.
dynamic.
Yes.
Dynamic.
And this is static or dynamic?
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
Yes. क्या तुम लोग समझ रहे हो, बुड़बक जैसे समझ रहे हो. अभी यहाँ बोल रहा हो ये स्टैटिक है, जब यहाँ जा रहे हैं ये बोल रहा हो स्टैटिक डायनामिक है. You have assigned this value at the time of declarations or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
If you are assigning a value at the time of declaration, is it a static allocation or dynamic allocation?
Static.
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 Then
Static.
it's static. But previously, what example I did, basically, if you look at this previous example, is it a static allocation or dynamic allocation?
Dynamics.
Dynamic.
Dynamic.
The time of execution of my program, I can give different values also over here. But this I can do at the time of writing the programs. Understood it or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
But the sequence must be maintained. It's not that you'll be giving 4 values in any order. Not that you'll write on 550 and the system will understand which is the name, which is the price. It's not like this. The sequence must be maintained, separated with comma. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Look at this. Another way, method 2. I can declare the variables at the same time when I define my structures. So that I need not write a struct book. But this has a disadvantage. Disadvantage here is structure definitions are normally defined before main. These variables will definitely be then defined before main. Before main, the variable will become a global variable which has advantages and disadvantages. This I'll tell today also when we go for scope. What is a global variable and what is not a global variable. So global variable declaration has advantage and has also equal disadvantages. It should be declared as per our use. So if my variables, structure variables are global, I may opt for this. I may opt for this. If my variables are local, I should not. Then another way, which we should avoid always. If I don't write down the data type name like book, do this. In future, I cannot declare any variable of these data types because name doesn't exist. I cannot. In this case, I can declare afterward also by writing struct book B4, B5, B6. But in this case, I cannot declare after this any other structure variables. I cannot declare. But avoid using this method 2, method 3. I use method 1. You may go for method 2 whenever you find out that all these variables must be global to these programs. If they are global to this program, you may go for this. Otherwise, you go for the first one, as I told. Now, structure initialization, let me say some initialization over here. Structure as a whole can be initialized. I have one structure X and another structure Y. If both are same type, I can write on X assigns to Y, so it can be initialized as a whole. Or you can initialize component wise. Look at this. I declare an employee structure which has a name, age, and salary. I assign to the variable E1, Sanjay, 30 is the age, and the salary is $55.50. I have another structure E2 and E3. How do I do the assignment? I can do it in a piecemeal basis, means I can do it in one-to-one. I can write on E2 age is equal to E1 dot age, E2 salary is equal to E1 dot salary. That way I can do. But I cannot do copying a string. If it is in float, I can do this. I cannot copy all elements at once. I can write down E3 assigns to E1. I can do this. But I cannot write down E2 dot name assigns to E1 dot name. The whole string cannot be copied. Array cannot be copied. To copy this, I can write down string copy E2 dot name, E1 dot name. This is the destination, this is the source. I can do this. Or as a whole, I can write down E3 assigns to E1. The whole thing will be copied. Whole thing will be copied. But on a piecemeal basis, the string cannot be copied by writing E2 dot name assigns to E1 dot name. It cannot be. What will happen if I write down E1 dot name, E2 dot name, E1 dot name? That will simply copy the address of the first character to this, nothing else. The whole string will not be copied. So to copy the whole string, either you use a string copy function or you can write down E3 assigns to E1, so the whole things will be copied over here. And we cannot write down a comparative statement between two structures even if they are of same type. I cannot write down E1 equal to E2 or not. If both the structures are equal, it returns 1, otherwise it returns 0. It cannot be written. It's not accepted. Neither equal, not less than, or not equal, not less than, not greater than. You can compare individual data members, but you cannot compare both the structures. Cannot.
So like E2.age and E1.age can be
Yes,
compared?
yes, they can be compared. Like, can you compare two array?
No, sir.
No. We can compare every element of the array. So like this, every element can be
Yes, sir.
compared. But the whole structure cannot be compared like this. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Then the slack byte, which is very important sometimes, as I told, how many bytes are actually allocated? If you go to an integer, let me give an example here. I declare an array. If it is an array of integer, if the system takes integer is 2 bytes, so if we have 10 elements, it takes 20 bytes. If I declare an array of, let us say, a of 10, it takes 20 bytes, which doesn't happen in case of structures. Which doesn't happen in case of structures. For a structure, let me give one example over here. It's giving a better understanding. Suppose my data are like this. Look at my data members are name 10 into float salary. Can you say how many data bytes it will take for the employee E1? Assuming, let me give an assumption also. Suppose each character takes 1 byte, integer takes 2 bytes, float takes 4 bytes. Can you tell how many total bytes it takes?
16.
Is it 16?
Yes, sir.
Seems to be. It will not be less than 16. Must be greater than equal to 16. Must be greater than equal to 16. So why it is not 16? Let me discuss about the slack byte. Why it will not be equal to 16? Let me discuss this. First of all, 16 is understood, Amarjit, yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, because this is 10 character. Each character takes 1 byte. So into 10 plus 2 bytes plus 4 bytes comes out to be 16 bytes. Supposed to be 16 bytes. But why it may take more than 16 bytes? That's my question. The question here is maybe a little bit difficult, but you just memorize it. When we go for a memory accessing, do remember it will be required in future also. When we want to access data byte from memory, if I want to access a double data object, it should start from a memory location which is divisible by 8. Then I will have a faster memory access. If I want to access a float data object, which is 4 byte, must be divisible by
4.
It should start from a location which is divisible by 4. If I have an integer data objects, which is 2 bytes, must start from a location which is divisible by
2.
And if I have a char which takes 1 byte, can start from any location. Divisible by 1 means from any locations.
Yes, sir.
It means if I want to store a double data objects, it can be started, let me say 8016. Divisible by 8, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can it be started from 8010?
No, sir.
No, sir.
This system doesn't store it in 8010, which will take a lot of time for memory accessing. If I have a float variable and divisible by 4, it should start from a location, maybe let us say 2004. Can it be started from 2006?
No, sir.
No, sir.
And same way for integer and characters. Same way for integer and characters. Now, with this understanding, I'm not going to discuss sir, why, but remember, depending on the data byte, it should start from a location so that memory accessing will become faster. Suppose I have 10 character and character can be started from any location. Let's say it starts from 1000. So next can be started from 1010.
Yes.
1 byte, let's say integer takes 2 bytes. Next can be started from 1000. Very good. And here it will be exactly, let's say 10 bytes. So integer is 2 byte. This is 4 bytes. All are divisible by 2 and 4. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Well accepted. Well accepted. But had this float been here, so it would have been, let's say, name, then float, then int. Then again, if telling to this, sorry, 1000, this float supposed to be started from 1010, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And this supposed to be started in that case 1014.
14.
Will you find any slowing the memory for 1000 for this character and in?
No, sir.
No, sir. But what about this float?
Yes,
It's supposed to be started from a location divisible by.
4.
So in that case, can I start it from 1010?
No, sir.
No.
No.
It ought to be started from the next higher location, which is divisible by 4, 1010.
Yes, sir. 1000.
This starts from 1000. This starts from 1012. Takes 4 byte. This will start from 1016. So I have provided how much space here? 3 bytes.
2.
So how much bytes it will take? 16 or 18 bytes?
18.
18 bytes.
18 bytes. So a single structure variable will take 18 bytes because of the slack bytes sometimes are being provided in between two different data types. This I could explain because I have some idea about architecture. Many cannot tell this. It is not also there in the book properly, cannot understand. So so that's why if you have an architecture, let's say idea about the architecture, will you define name, age, salary or name, salary, age?
Name.
Name age salary. Name age salary.
Yes, yes. Or you can say salary, then age, then
Then.
name.
Yes.
So always in a structure, when you define variable, will you define from lower to higher or higher to lower?
So lower to higher.
No, higher
Higher
size to
to
lower
lower.
size. That will always take less memory. Do remember this.
Yes, sir.
Salary name age can also be declared.
Catch it? Catch it?
Salary name age.
Huh, that I'm saying. I declare salary. So in this case, it may not create any problem if I go for salary, name and age. But if I tell a thumb rule, you should
Okay,
go
sir.
for higher to lowers. That's a thumb rule.
For that, we have to go higher to lower.
Higher to lowers. Understood it or not?
Yes, sir.
But you will not find in many program 11 the people do not write in that way. So do you understand this? Why the slack bytes are required?
Yes, sir.
And why the size is becoming
Yes, sir.
more than the normal over here?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the slack bytes. We started character at 0, but integer cannot start from location 1. Integer must be started from a location which is divided by 2, so went to 2. Even if I have a char and int, it takes 3 bytes or 4 bytes.
Char int.
हाँ, एक single character है, एक single integer है, एक structure
3
का अंदर.
bytes.
ये 3 byte लिया कि 4 byte लिया?
3 byte.
नहीं, कितना लिया?
4 byte लिया.
4 byte लिया because of
byte.
slack byte.
Char.
Because of slack byte. Had I been declared int first, then char, it would have taken 3 bytes or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the ideology. That's the ideology. Go for this always. So then structure, data type, definitions. We define structure, variable declaration. I declared here. Look at this main. This before main, I should declare my data types. B10, 10 number of structure variables. I can assign values to all these structure variables with the help of a for loop and display it on the screen. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Second
Yes,
program
sir.
will do. Second program. Amarjit, समझ में आया?
Yes, sir.
Why ampersand is required? Then this is the printing statements. Arrays of structures and stores and display. This is the class work. Today, note down this. Define a structure of employee having data member names, address, age, and salary. Address can be name of the state only or name of the district. Take data for n employee. This is not n. Take data for 10 employee in an array and find out the average salary. Yeah, and I say for 10 employee and find out the average salary. Understood the problem?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Using arrow operators. I have declared a structure now, data type.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Could you show the last question?
For the question.
Yes.
So before this one.
यही ना?
इसके पहले वाला सर, सेकंड वाला
इसका पहले वाला क्वेश्चन क्या था? यही तो था. ठीक है?
Okay, sir.
Look at this. How many variable did I declare here?
One.
Abbas? One variable B1. Okay?
One.
So when I declare a variable like this, Look at this. How many total variable did I declare in my program?
2.
2. Very good. So one of the variable is a structure variable which has 3 data members. Address of the structure variable will ampersand B1. Understood up to this or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I declared another structure variable or pointer variable. Tell me.
Pointer.
Pointer variable.
But this pointer variable, PTR, happens to be the address to integer or address to a structure of book type.
Structure book type.
So when I write down PTR ampersand to this will be point to this structure. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Every data member of this structure can be accessed by writing B1 followed by dot. Suppose I want to access the pages using PTR. How do I access it? By writing PTR, in between I'll place an arrow on pages or not.
Yes, sir.
So if I want to access the data member using name of the structure variable B1, I'll write down dot operators. If I use a pointer variable to the structure, I can access it using arrow operators. Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Understood.
I have a small question here. Suppose this book, I would have declared this as B of 5. If I declare B of 5, let me clear it. Okay. Suppose I declare this as stock book B of 5. So how many structure variable did I declare?
5.
Oh,
Five.
5 variable. And each variable has how many data members?
3.
Like this. What is the address of the whole array?
Ampersand B.
Oh, very nice. Lot. Thank you a lot. What is the address of the first structure? So this everyone has understood, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
If you have understood this, I have a declaration. Look at this PTR. Can I write down PTR assigns to ampersand B, which I wrote it here? Can I write this or it will be incorrect?
Incorrect, sir.
Very good. Why incorrect? Tell me, Amarjit. PTR is asking address to how many structure variable? 1 or 5?
5.
1.
PTR is asking address to how many structure?
One.
Ampersand B is addressed to 1 structure variable or 5 structure variable?
5.
Not accepted. But if I remove this ampersand, write down B, PTR will be pointing to this, yes or no?
Yes.
sir.
Yes.
Can anyone say how do I access the price of the second? If PTR is pointing to this.
PTR in bracket 1.
No, PTR is pointing to this. What is the address of this structure?
B plus 1.
Oh, very good. PTR plus 1. Very nice.
PTR plus 1.
Yes, PTR plus address to this. How do I access this data member? By using
Arrow.
arrow.
Pages.
and pages.
Yes, sir.
Understood it? Yes or no?
Yes.
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 So if you have understood this, you can now access the name PTR arrow name. You can access PTR.price, PTR pages. All these will be stored in the same variable B1 also. You can print it, Cunningham Ricci, price 130 and like this. Let's do a small programs.
Please come back to that slide.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Again.
Noted, sir.
This is the next program you will do. Again, I would like to now define a structure like this, which I was just discussing B of 5. Can I write down PTR ampersand B valid or not valid?
Not valid.
Not valid.
PTR assigns to B is valid. I can access every element of this. Every element of this array can be accessed by using PTR. So I can write a loop over here. This is not n, this is really 5. N is 5. I can write down PTR plus I name, PTR plus I price like this. I can scan and print all values. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
This is another program you need to do. Okay. 2 more things.
Sir, can you
Sir,
please
please
move
show
back?
the slide once.
हो गया?
Yes, sir.
Look at this. The member of, okay, so I have, look at this. I have a structure address which contains phone number, city and PIN number. I have an employee whose data member can be another structure variables. The data member of a structure can be another structure variables. ADR is which data type?
Address.
Integer or address data type?
Address.
And what is the address data type? Consists of how many members?
3.
Members.
So it can be. So suppose I declare a variable here. Suppose I declare a variable like this as struct employee E. How could I access his phone number? E.adr dot PIN will be giving the PIN number of this a very sorry. E.adr dot PIN. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Same way I can access all these. Suppose I want to access the name of the employee. I'll write down simply E dot.
E dot name.
Suppose I want to store the date of birth here. Suppose I want to store the date of birth inside this. I could declare another structure. Date of birth. Declaring here int D, int month, int year. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And then here I could have given here a struct date of birth D over here. Sorry, or D, or let's say a P.
Yes, sir.
So how do I access the date of birth, the year of the date of birth? If
E
there
dot-
is variable E in this name, E dot
Dot P
DOB
dot Y.
Y.
So this is a structure variable declaration. I can initialize E by writing, look at this, how do I? When I initialize, I'll write down Jeru, the name of this. And then for this, I have to give 3 data, right, phone number, city, and this. Then I want to display this. This also another program you must do. Okay? Then structure function, I'll discuss in tomorrow class. But before that, let me discuss a small things. Let me discuss a storage class. Look at this. Storage class. When I discuss storage class, the data used in a program can either be available in the main memory or in a registers. When we execute a program, I have multiple declaration variable A, B, C, like this, say I. Number of variables I declared. During execution of the program, the variable can either be available in a registers or it can be available in the main memory. Normally, variables are available in the main memory. But some of the variables can also be, besides main memory, can also be kept in the registers. Suppose I have an instruction like this, A assigns to B plus C. If all these variables A, B, C are available in 3 different registers R0, R1, R2. These are the registers available inside the CPU. So when the CPU understands to execute this instruction, can it carry out the ALU operation at the same time because the data are available? Yes or no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Suppose this variable B and C are not available in the registers, they are available in the main memory. CPU understand it's an addition operation between B and C. Will it do the addition immediately, or it will first bring the data from memory to CPU, then carry out the ALU operations?
At first, it bring the data
Registers,
from
yes,
memory.
bring it from memory to CPU, then carry out the operation among it. Understood it?
Yes, sir.
So the variables are available in a register, the operation will become faster or slower.
Sir, faster.
And that's the reason for which we try to keep the variables inside the CPU in a general purpose registers. But number of general purpose registers in a machine is not very large. It may be 64 or 128. But our program may handle data of thousands or 2000s. Can I store all data in the GPRs in the general purpose registers, or few only? Few only. So which variable you would like to keep in the registers? Any variable, or the variable which is used most frequently?
Most frequently.
And your variable I is the most frequently used variable in your program.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So that must be kept in the general purpose registers. Besides others variable which are more frequently used, the compiler will decide it. Compiler will decide which variable will be given a space in the registers, and rest variable will be kept in the memory, so that whenever we go for an operation, we'll bring it from there. Then next question is, whenever we store the data in the memory, in memory we have also places. One is we can store it in a stack, or we'll store it in a heap area. There are two different areas you will study when you study operating system. In the main memory, where data can be stored temporarily for executions. All variables normally they are stored in the stack. Unless and until we specifically tell the variable needs to be stored in the heap. How to tell it? I will discuss it. If I tell the variable should be stored in the stack, it will be stored in the, and storing variable in the heap will have an existence starting from the program execution till the end of the executions. If the variable is stored in the heap, its lifetime will be from starting of the program execution till the end of the executions. If it is available inside the stack, then the variable will only exist within the block. Block means it can be either in the function. When the function is called, the variable existence will be there. When the function terminates, completes its execution, the variable will disappear. Or I can declare a simple block also without a function. The variable declared inside this, its appearance will start when the block starts. When the block ends, the variable will disappear. But if it is stored in the heap area, the variable will appear till the end of the executions. There are some variable which I may need after the function terminates. There are variable which I do not need after the function terminates. So we should disappear it. And the memory space can be utilized for some other purposes. And variables which are stored in the stack, they will always disappear once the function, they will appear when the function is called, they disappear when the function terminates. And with this idea, okay, with this idea, we'll discuss basically the storage class where a variables are basically being stored, and if it needs to be stored in some specific place, how do I declare it? Okay, and size of the variable, you all know, is compiler dependent, system dependence, can be 2 bytes, 4 bytes, integers in some machine is 2 bytes, some machine 4 bytes, like this. These are not required. Storage class. Come back to this. The storage class can be defined in 4 ways: automatic storage class, static storage class, external storage class, register storage class. All variables which we have been declaring till now in our program are automatic storage class. A reserved word auto is supposed to be written before that. If I'm declaring a int variable int a, if I'm declaring a int variable int a, I supposed to write auto before this, if it is an automatic variables. But if I do not write anything, it is considered to be automatic variables, and all automatic variables are saved in the stack. Their existence starts when the block is called. When the block terminates, the existence disappears. And normally automatic variables are stored in the stack. Okay. Then static storage class. And static storage class ought to be written before this variable static. If I write down static, the variable will be stored in a heap area. Variable will be stored in a heap area, and every static variables by default they are initialized to 0 by default. If I initialize this to 5, that initialization will occur. And the static variable, the initialization or the declaration statement will only be executed once for the first time you call it. Inside the block, if I write down a plus plus, next time I enter to this function, if I want to print the value of a, first time it prints 5, second time when I come, it will print 6, third time it will print 7, it will go on printing 5, 6, 7 like this. But if I do not write anything, it becomes auto. Every time I enter, this will initialize to 5 and it will be printing 5. So static variable retain its value for the next computations, and initialization to the variable and the declaration statement only happens once for the first time when we enter. Further, this initialization will not happen. So it will retain its previous value. That happens in case of static variable. I'll show you the example. Then coming to registers. If I declare a variable, registers int a, the variable must be allocated in a registers by the compilers. But if I declare all variables registers, then compiler will only allocate if 64 registers are there only to 64, and rest is the compiler choice. So if I feel some variable must be stored in the register for faster processing, I must declare it's a register int a. So the variable will be stored in the registers, and the variable will be stored in a register for faster operations. External storage class. Some variables in a program can be accessed by other programs. And for those, we have to use the external reservoir prior to this, so that this variable can be used by external other programs to this. External, I'm not going to discuss in details because of time, doesn't permit this time, shortage of time, but external, remember, external variables are always stored in the heap area, and its existence start of the creation, it will continue to end of the executions. If you look at this, attributes, storage, auto, normally stored in the stack area. If I do not initialize, it takes a garbage value local to the block, and it is operated within the block. If it is a static variable stored in the memory, but heap area of the memory, default initialization is 0 if I do not initialize any explicit value to this. Local to the block, but retains the value for the subsequent calls. External also available in the heap area. Default initialization is 0 if I do not initialize. Global to this program, and its existence is starting of the program till the end of the execution. Registers are stored in the register variable. It takes a garbage value if I do not go for explicit initializations. Local inside a block, and it works within a blocks. Now, block is basically a brackets. Come back to scope of the variables. I declared int 5. Here I want to tell one thing over here. I have a very big block. This is my block. Another smaller block is available inside this. If I'm using a variable a equal to b and the variable b, int a is there. Variable b is not defined here, but the variable b is defined here, value is 20. If the variable is not declared within a block, but we are using that, we are referencing that, then it will take the value of the block which embeds this in the previous preceding blocks. If I have int a and b equal to 5, then this value of a will become 5. Same variable can be declared in another block. So this variable will not appear inside this block once a variable is declared in the same name. But if it is not declared, it takes the value as 20 over here. That happens in a C programming language. Look at the example, it will be more clear. I have a variable a equal to 5. Outer block. There is an inner block. when I declare a assigns to 10, this variable will not have an existence inside this. It has its own variable a. If I print, it will print 10. If I write on a plus plus, this will not affect this. This will change this variable a to 11. But if I write a printf statement over here, it will print the value of a as 5. If I write a plus plus, this block has no declaration with the variable a. So this will take the outer variable a over here. Look at this. I declare a variable b. Inside this b is not declared. So this will take which b?
B5.
And it will increase. And when I come out of this will print value of b as 5 or 6.
6.
Joseph or Risikas?
5.
No, it will print 6.
6.
It will print 6. It accesses the same variable b. But if I declare int b here, if I declared int b here with 20, what will be printed here?
21.
No,
No, sir.
no, this will print the same 5b over here.
5.
5.
This will print 5. This will become 21, doesn't matter, but this will print 5. If I do not have a declaration like this, so this b will take this b of the programs. The next block which has embedded this. Again, I declare a variable b here inside this. I changed it. This will change the original b from 5 to 6, or this will change its own b from 9 to 10.
Only
9, 10.
5 to 10. But this b will print which value? 5 or 10?
5.
Yes, it will print 5. Now comes the storage class. I have a block B1 starting to end. B2 is another block, starts from here, ends here. B3 is another block. Auto int I is declared inside the block B1. B2 has no declaration with I. B3 has no declaration with I. If I print I inside B3 and B2, what value it will print?
1.
Very good. Very good. Next question. I have again B1, B2, B3, 3 blocks. B1 has a declaration with I equal to 1. B2 has a declaration I equal to 2. B3 has a declaration I equal to 3. If I print here, what will be printed? 1, 2 or 3?
3.
Here it will print.
2.
Here it will print.
1.
Suppose if I said this declaration would have not been there, what B2 would have printed here?
1.
Very good. That's basically the scope of a variables. Scope of a variables. Look at this. All these you will test in the today's class. Void function 1, function 2. Every function has its own variable m, and this has own function m10. If I print this printf will print which value of m? 10, 20 or 30?
10.
It will print 10. It will print 10. Function 2 we went here. Function 2 will call function 1. Again it has its own m. And when we come back, we'll print here, it will print basically same 30. As I told, register int I, the variable I will be allocated to the register variables. Storage class 30, come back to this. Look at the program. Look at the program. I declared a auto int m equal to 1. If I print, what it will print first?
1.
1. M will be increased to 2. Will it retain the value?
No, sir.
No. M will be destroyed. Again, when I call increment, M will again be reinitialized to
1.
1. Yes, Nikhil, correct. So what it will print, Nikhil, can you tell?
1.
It will print only 1 or 3, 1?
3. 1.
If I in the same place, if I am writing static int m equal to 1, will it print 1, 1, 1
2,
or
3.
print 1,
1,
2,
2,
3?
3, 1, 3, 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3. If I write down like this, I call the same function 3 times. I call the same function 3 times here, start. M equal to 1, it will print 2, 3, 4. Understood it or not?
Yes, sir.
It will be 2, 3 and 4 like this. So external storage class, the variable which are declared outside this main are considered to be the global variables, and global variables can also be used by other programs, which I'm not showing examples. So I'll show you examples later on with this. Look at this. I have written a display function. Main outside this. Main will access the same variable x. Display will also access the same variable x over here. But if I do a declaration like this, display has its own variable x, but the main will access this x or global variable x. Global variable x. So these are the program you can test in today's class and the structure you do. So tomorrow I'll try to finish the syllabus. Okay, now anything related to the examination, if you want to ask, I have already clearly written in the test. Your exam will start possibly from 8 o'clock. By 8 o'clock sharp, you will be getting 3 questions. Out of 3, you need to answer 2 questions. Each question carries 15 marks. Once your evaluation execution is completed for one program, you can show it to the technical assistants if they're interested to see, or you can send it to their mail ID. Okay? Technical assistants will, whether they will see or you will send, you will definitely send. Whether they want to see or they will say, no, need not to show, you send it, you'll send it immediately. Don't wait for the second one to be completed. Second one you do, same process, you send it through their mail, through which you will receive the question. And the timing is fixed, 1 hour 20 minutes for 2 questions. 1 hour 20 minutes for 2 questions. And after 1 hour 20 minutes, the technical assistant may take the Viva in the same day or in the next day, or they may divide today 20, next day 20. As per their choice, you ask them what they will do. As per their choice, you have to appear the Viva. They may be asking question related to the question which was given. And anyone will try to copy from others, or you will share it with others for copying. And both will be penalized. It's my prerogative to give 0 or to give a pass mark for you. My prerogative. I may also fail you if I find out you have cheated it from others. If it is proved, definitely you will lose some marks. And that's the penalty I'm going to give. Only losing marks, nothing else. And quiz test, I told those who have not appeared one, I'll take best of 2, absolutely no problem. If you have not appeared 2, I'll take from 1. And third quiz, I have given 5 minutes more, so no grace mark will be given there. Whatever you score, the actual mark will be considered for quiz 3, because there I have increased the timing from 15 minutes to 20 minutes.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, I missed all 2 tests of program.
I have every time I am telling write a mail to me, you are not writing.
Sir, I have
You are shouting. You never write a mail to me.
Sir, I had written to mail to you.
Last class you told you didn't write.
Sir, I had written.
No, you might have written somebody else. You write to me. You see my email ID. Write to me. Or last class when I told you have not written.
Sir, this is your mail ID, na? B Sahu FCS.
Yes. Write today. Okay. Right today. In which group, under which technical assistance you are? So I'll take a Viva for you. 1 Viva and 1 test you appear in the next. So anything else you want to tell, you can tell me.
And Viva हमारा कौन लेंगे technical assistant?
Technical assistants will take your Viva for 10 marks.
सर वाइवा जो होगा वो क्वेश्चन रिलेटेड ही होगा ना, जो क्वेश्चन मिलेगा
Maybe question related, they may be asking outside their questions.
ओके
You ask your technical assistants how they will conduct the Viva today. Okay.
यस सर.
Whether they will conduct in the same day for all students or they will be having the groups. अच्छा राजलक्ष्मी.
Sir, I had the same problem, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I also couldn't give the quiz due to some technical.
I told them the best of
on
2.
your
I'll
side.
I'll take best
No.
of 2. That's why I gave one more choice.
No, it wasn't showing up there. Like
Huh?
Even if it wasn't showing up, the quiz wasn't showing up. Even if I wanted to.
For all this problem, I'm going to conduct one more. That's why I'm conducting 3. Best 2 I'll take.
Oh, okay.
That's I told from the beginning. Now you can enter to your breakout room.
Sir, can you show the previous slides?
अब slide नहीं है.